In the previous class, we have solved the problem on the rational formula. In today's class, we are going to see regarding the empirical formula when it has to be used and what are the different kind of a formula that we are going to use. Okay, rational formula is only used when the area draining water into the sewer is smaller than 400 hectares. For a larger area, the empirical formula is much more suitable. This empirical formula, whenever there is a larger area is there, then this particular formula is much more suitable, since the great care and the judgment are required for suitably selecting the rainfall intensity Ri in the rational formula. Okay, now here there are some of the important things that are considered under the empirical formula are the catchment area, it is in hectares, and the rainfall rate intensity of a rainfall in per hour, and relative imperviousness, and then the slope of a ground. So the rational formula is only used when when the water entering into the sewer is of a smaller section, which is of a having a area smaller than 400 hectares. But if the area is more than 400 hectares, then we will be using this particular empirical formula for the water flow. Okay, now the first formula that we are going to have under this particular empirical formula is the Buckley-Ziegler formula, where the runoff Q can be measured in terms of 296 CRIA into S by A raised to 1 by 4, where Q is nothing but the runoff in liters per second, and the Ri is nothing but the rainfall intensity, it is in per hour. A is nothing but the catchment area in hectares. C is nothing but the constant. Okay, C is nothing but a constant which is going to express the nature of the ground surface and or its relative imperviousness. It is going to vary in between 0.5 to 0.9, but usually it is going to taken it as 0.7. Okay, so this is regarding the Buckley-Ziegler formula. So runoff can be given by using this particular formula. Okay, next is McMath's formula, where runoff can be given by Q is equal to 292 CRIA into S by A, okay, raised to the power 1 by 5. Then this is regarding where CRIA is nothing but the Ri is nothing but the rainfall intensity, A is nothing but the area in hectares, C is nothing but the constant, S is nothing but the slope, A is nothing the area. Okay, then Metcalfe and Eddy's formula, where runoff can be given by using the formula Q is equal to 28.32 multiplied by 25,000 divided by 2.47 A plus 125 plus 15. Okay, the above formula contains only the expression for the catchment area. Okay, then next is the Fanning's formula, where runoff can be given by Q is equal to 3125 into AK raised to the power 5 by 8, where AK is nothing but the area is in square kilometers. Okay, Talbot's formula, we are going to calculate the runoff by using the formula Q is equal to 87,000 AK to the power 1 by 4. This is how we are going to determine the runoff by using Talbot's formula. Then a Dickens formula, where runoff can be determined by using the formula Q is equal to 14C AK raised to the power 3 by 4, where the constant C value is going to vary in between 250 to 1600, where 250 is used for a smaller area, and 850 for an average size, and then 1600 for a smaller size. Then we will be studying regarding the Ravi's formula Q is equal to 15 AK raised to 2 by 3, where C is going to vary in between 450 to 625. Then English formula, we can calculate the runoff by using the formula Q is equal to 1,23,100 into AK divided by square root AK plus 10.4. Okay, normally the problems will be asked to you from the rational formula, the empirical formula in textbooks also they have given only the formulas. They have not solved any kind of a problem regarding the by empirical formula, but this you need to know as a theory part of it. Now we will be we have now we will see regarding the sewer. Okay. Now in the module 1 we have covered regarding introduction, need for sanitation, methods of sewage disposal, types of sewerage system. Okay, then in that we have seen the conservancy and water carrier system. What is a dry weather flow we have seen, what is wet weather flow we have seen, factors affecting dry and wet weather flow, and on a design of a sewerage system we have seen, then estimation of a storm flow, this we have seen. Now we are going to concentrate our study on the next part of the module 1. We have finished the half part of module 1. We will concentrate on the next part of module 1, that is we are going to study regarding the sewer. Okay, now in this we are going to study regarding the materials of sewer, shape of sewer, laying and testing of sewer, ventilation of sewer, low cost waste treatment, then oxidation pond, septic tank, sewer appurtenances, manholes, catch basin, then a basic principle of a house drainage, typical layout of a house plan showing the drainage connection. So we have completed the half part of the module 1. We will see regarding the sewer in the next part of the module 1. Here we are going to study regarding the material of sewer, shape of sewer, laying and testing of sewer, ventilation of sewer, then the sewer appurtenances. So totally we are going to concentrate our study in the half part of module 1 regarding the different kind of sewer material, laying, testing, then how we should what are the different types of sewer appurtenances we are going to have, then the typical layout of the house drainage system. This we are going to study in the remaining part of module 1. Now before going to the type of material of sewer, then shape of sewer, laying of sewer, then testing of sewer, ventilation of sewer, right, before knowing these, before going through all these, we should know what is a sewer. I think sewer, you know what is a sewer. It is nothing but it is an underground conduit or drain which is going to take the sewage through it and discharge it to the disposal point. Now in a simple words, your sewer is nothing but the gutter. Okay, it is nothing but the gutter which is going to take the waste water, right, the waste water whatever is coming, right, through the houses or whatever the area, the wastewater whatever has been generated, it is going to be flowed under the underground conduit. This is, it is closed, it is not open to the atmosphere. So while telling you the importance regarding the sanitation, I have told what is a sewer, but before knowing all these material and all these, we should know what is a sewer. Sewer is nothing but it is an conduit which is going to take the wastewater through it, and it is going to carry the wastewater through it, and it is going to dispose to the wherever you want to dispose the waste, either treatment plant or either nala, any kind of a nala, wherever you want to throw it, right, it is going to take that wastewater through the underground, or it is not taking that wastewater open to the atmosphere. The wastewater will not be open to the atmosphere. It is flowing through the conduit, so that it is going to maintain the hygienic condition, that is a bad odor, smell, rodents will not be there, and it is going to taking care of the environment. So that is nothing but regarding your it is nothing but your what is a sewer. Sewer is nothing but the underground conduit which is going to take the wastewater from the point of disposal, from the point of generation, and it is going to take it to the where the point of disposal without disturbing the environment. That is nothing but your sewer line is. Now what are the factors to be considered? Now before selecting this sewer material, we need to see what are the different kinds of factor that we need to consider when we are going to choose a sewer line. So in that we need to see some of the several aspects, such as the hydraulic efficiency of the sewer, resistance to the abrasion, resistance to the corrosion, the strength aspect, then durability, cost and weight, and then imperviousness. Now we'll study one by one regarding the hydraulic regarding all these. Okay, the factors to be considered while selecting the sievers. Sievers is nothing but your sewer line. Okay, so it is nothing but your gutter line. Okay, or the when what the sewer it should be how it should have what kind of a characteristics, that is nothing but the factors considered while selecting the sewer. Okay, the first one is the hydraulic efficiency. The material that whatever we are going to select for having the sewer, it should be such that the Manning's coefficient N is low as possible, so that the hydraulic efficiency of the surface is available. So what is the Manning's formula and all we are going to see when we are going to study regarding the design of sewer. But the hydraulic efficiency of the material whatever we are going to choose, it should have the Manning's coefficient N should be low as possible, so as what is the it should maintain the hydraulic efficiency. Next is resistance to the abrasion. Okay, the flowing sewage may contain lots of solids. Okay, the wastewater may be having lots of solids and grit and sand particles in it at a higher velocity. If it is flowing in through the sewer line, okay, then it may having the erosion of a sewer. Okay, whatever the material that we have used, it may due to the higher velocity, and as these particles may touch the surface of the sewer, so what it may do is it may erode. Okay, erosion of a sewer material may takes place, due to which the abrasion of the entire sewer which may takes place, and the for a longer life of a sewer material, it should have the higher resistance to the abrasion. Okay, it should be the sewer material whatever we are going to use, it should have the higher resistance to the abrasion. Now resistance to the corrosion. The composition of sewage may have such material that it may corrode. Okay, it may your sewage is having some different kind of a material in it. So if it is a corrosive nature is in if it is the wastewater is in corrosive nature, then the sewer whatever you are going to use, it may corrode. Okay, for a longer life of a sewer material should possess the higher degree of corrosion or higher degree of corrosion resistance. The whatever the material that you are going to use in the sewer line, it should be the corrosion resistance. The strength. Okay, the sewers are generally they are going to be laid underground, and hence they are subjected to a large number of external forces, including the weight of overburden, because weight of overburden and the vehicular and the live loads. Okay, this particular sewage, it may be placed under the underground conditions, so the various kinds of a load it may come. So it should have the material should be have the enough strength for the resistance against the external forces. Okay, so this is it should have the enough resistance to hold the weight of the external forces whatever it is going to come. Then durability. The sewer material should be durable. Okay, it should be durable, and expenditure due to its frequent replacement is minimum. It should be durable enough so that it can lead a long life, so that whatever the replacement expenditure can be bare minimum. The cost of material. Next is the cost of material should be less, so as the overall economy is going to be achieved in the construction. Next is comes the weight part. The material, whatever the material we are going to use, it should be light in weight, so that it can be easily handled and it can be easily transported. It can be easily handled and easily transported, and so as it is going to help in the easier construction also. Next is comes the imperviousness. The sewer material that we are going to use, it should be impervious. Okay, it should be impervious and should not allow the seepage of the sewage from a sewer. It should be completely impervious. I think I have told you what is the meaning of pervious and impervious. It should not absorb the water. It should be impervious through it. Okay, now what are the different kind of a material that we are going to use in order to in order to have the sewer? What are the different material that we are going to see now? Okay, the first material that we are having the different kind of a material in order to prepare the sewer line. What are those materials? Are nothing but one is the asbestos cement, second is plain or reinforced concrete. Okay, reinforced cement concrete, asbestos cement we are going to use in order to construct the sewer, and then plain or reinforced cement concrete we are going to use, then vitrified clay or the stonewares. Okay, vitrified clay or the stonewares we are going to use. The brick sewer, the sewer can be constructed by using the bricks also. Then the cast iron sewers. Okay, then steel sewers, then the plastic sewer. These are the different kind of a material we are going to use in order to prepare the sewer line. See, whatever these material, whatever we are going to use, it should be hydraulically efficient. It should have the resistance to corrosion, resistance to the your abrasion. Then it should have the strength, enough strength, durability. Then it should be less costly, it should be easily available, then weight should be less, and it should be relative imperviousness. So all these are nothing but the criteria for selecting the sewer line. Okay, so all material will be having some of the advantages and some of the disadvantages. So in the next class we will be studying regarding what are the different materials that we are going to use in detail, what are their composition, it is what are their diameters, what is its length. Okay, what are their advantages, what are their disadvantages, that we are going to study in the next class, along with some of the shapes of a sewer that we are going to study in the next class. Thank you.